Is there any objection? There is no objection. Question number 7, Dr. Paul Hutchison.
Tēnā koe e te mana whakawa. Te Minister for Health. How many of New Zealand's 947 pharmacies have signed up to the new Community Pharmacy Service Agreement, and what does this mean for their patients?
The Honourable Tony Ryan.
Mr. Speaker, I'm advised all 947 pharmacies have accepted. Under the past agreement, pharmacies were funded based on the number of medicines they dispensed, so dispensing medicines was it. Under the new agreement, we're rewarding our skilled pharmacists for providing support and advice to patients. In particular, around 200,000 people with long-term conditions will get support to better manage their health with the support of their pharmacists. They're a highly valued part of our health workforce, and the new approach means we'll be able to make much greater use of their expertise, and patients are the real winners from this big step forward in primary care for patients.
Supplementary. Te Minister o Health. What other reports has he seen on this new patient-focused approach where pharmacists will better manage their patients?
The Honourable Tony Ryle.
Mr. Speaker, while I'm advised all 947 pharmacists have accepted the new approach and it is supported by the Pharmacy Guild, I saw a lone statement that the pharmacy sector was in, quote, chaos, and that the new contracts are, quote, ill-conceived. And not only that, they were, get this one, dangerous. Who would say this, of course? The New Zealand Labour Party. Scaremongering again. This agreement marks a significant step forward in the delivery of pharmacy services for patients and pharmacists, and delivers and demonstrates this government's commitment to better, sooner, more convenient healthcare for New Zealanders.
The Honourable Marion Street.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister o Health, does he intend simply to ignore the pharmacists who say they have signed, quote, under duress, unquote, that the new agreement was, quote, problematic for rural pharmacies because of the change in funding model, unquote, and that, quote, quoting pharmacists, patient safety could be at risk because pharmacists are being forced to focus on revenue gathering, unquote, and if he is not going to ignore their concerns, what does he intend to do about them?
The Honourable Tony Ryle.
Mr. Speaker, all issues have been considered as part of drawing up this agreement. What that member needs to realise is that though she spent several days in this House standing up trying to make all sorts of claims about the scheme, all 947 pharmacists have agreed, and we are on track to a much better pharmacy service than that member's failed crowd ever offered New Zealanders.
Barbara Stewart.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is the Minister aware of the many pharmacists who believe that the long-term condition eligibility will not include the patients who need it most? And if so, what is he doing to ensure the patients receive the funding?
Order. I apologise to the member, and I say particularly to the Labour front bench. Now, the noise level is totally unfair. Barbara Stewart deserves the courtesy of being able to ask her question in a reasonable House. And it's just, I accept that it's not the very front bench on the Labour side that's the cause of the problem. It's perhaps a little further back. So, but I just ask, no order. I've been, if anything, a little harder on the team on the right today. The noise on my left has been a little excessive, and I do want to hear Barbara Stewart's question. Please, Barbara Stewart, to start again.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is the Minister aware of the many pharmacists who believe that the long-term eligibility criteria will not include the patients who need it most? If so, what is he doing to ensure the patients receive the funding for the care they need?
The Honourable Tony Ryan.
Mr. Speaker, I'm aware that one or two have expressed that sort of concern, but we've got the New Zealand Pharmacy Guild working so closely with the New Zealand Health Service in delivering that. We know that we're going to achieve something positive. I think the lesson to the member opposite is that while she might have had correspondence from one or two disaffected people, the vast majority of pharmacy believes the changes that are made are being appropriate. And the member should actually get in behind the changes that are going to be so positive for patients in New Zealand.
Question number 8, the Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr